In the southeastern US, we're already seeing hints of spring, but the trails are still too wet to ride. So today we'll take to the garage and examine another 10 products for mountain bikers and outdoor enthusiasts. Let's get started. The Bomber Strap is a mini tailgate pad that holds a single mountain bike, and that makes it a pretty unique product. But it's not for everyone. For one, the Bomber Strap costs as much as a normal tailgate pad, which can hold many bikes. It also leaves your tailgate exposed to contact with the front tire, which can cause scuffs. To mitigate that, they include an additional strap which holds your bars turned, keeping the tire free and clear of your paint job. That's an extra step every time you load your bike. If you think these shortcomings make it hard to justify over a tailgate pad, you're right. But the Bomber Strap does have its strengths. First of all, it's built amazingly well, with metal buckles, ballistic nylon construction, and plenty of straps to hold your bike in place. It also looks really good, with rugged, tactical styling and a very nicely designed logo. It also doesn't block your backup camera. But even with these strengths, you'd still struggle to justify it over the capability and value of a normal tailgate pad. That is, unless you travel as much as I do. A few weeks ago, I flew to Austin, Texas with my bike, and rented this pickup truck to get around. I should have brought my Bomber Strap. We were forced to use pool noodles from my bag to keep the bikes from sliding around the tailgate, and it was kinda sketchy. The Bomber Straps can fit in my flight bag quite easily, and install on any rental truck. The ability to store and transport a Bomber Strap is definitely its biggest selling point, and for me, that makes it an indispensable travel accessory. I wish I could say the same for the shoe dryer. I bought this by commenter request after doing this newspaper hack in another video. If your shoes get wet from, let's say, a creek crossing, you put these little electric heaters in them, and wake up the following morning to dry shoes. These took about 10 hours to dry my very wet shoes, and I guess that's fine. But the more I examined this shoe dryer, the more sketched out I was by it. It is, after all, a mini space heater that you leave unattended inside of wet shoes. My curiosity got the best of me, so I took it apart. I was horrified to find uninsulated connectors, no fuse, no breaker, or anything other than a resistor to keep the LED from blowing. I'm gonna find a different product and not link to this in the description, because I'd be super bummed if one of you had an incident with one of these. From the makers of the Fork Cork come two products today. First, we have the Everclear Frame Protector Roll, which is available in glossy or matte finishes. On a brand new bike, you can basically make this stuff look invisible with a heat gun and some patience. It even manages to conform to some pretty challenging spots. But like any clear film, it won't look good over an already damaged surface. It will instead entomb the battle scars under the laminate. Each roll is 2 inches by 60 inches, which is more than enough to cover all the important parts of your bike. If you're looking for stealth frame protection, this is pretty tough to beat for $14, as the quality is very similar to the much higher priced pre-cut alternatives. Also from Miles Wide Industries are Sticky Fingers brake lever grips. They promise a better grip, insulation from the cold, protection from scratches, and a unique feel. They seem easiest to install with a bit of alcohol, which will dry up after a few minutes. I'm not sure why perfectly good brake levers would need grips, although they do fit really nicely. They feel kind of amazing? I might need some time to acclimate to this new reality where I like grips on my brake levers. I don't quite understand why they feel so good, and I am a bit worried the other kids will make fun of me, but damn. Don't knock it till you try it. I guess if you like to troll hard, purposely misalign your tire logos, and install weird shit on your bike, these will be perfect for you. I will personally refrain from installing these on my other trail bike because I'm afraid I'll like them too much and leave them on. This is the Camelback Mule LR15 Hydration Backpack. Truth be told, on my own recreational rides, I avoid packs altogether, but sometimes I need one to lug around camera gear. The LR15 has tons of space, and opens really wide so you can get a good view of everything. It also has lots of bonus compartments for tools and supplies. For quick access, it has both a mesh pocket and a zip-up compartment on the front. It also comes with a built-in rainfly, which is now getting pretty common on these packs. The reservoir is contained in the bottom third, keeping all the weight low down on your back. It disconnects from the hose with a little button. This reservoir is deceivingly large, as it actually holds 3 liters. My one criticism about this pack is the mess of straps on the belt, which I get needs to accommodate different sized people, but just seems overly complex. Otherwise, the Mule LR15 is my new favorite backpack, if I can't avoid wearing one. Let's look at some pumps. I've been sitting on this Crank Brothers Click digital floor pump for quite some time now. In its $225 configuration, it comes with a detachable burst tank, which is of course used to seat tubeless tires. You can either fill it with the pump or with the included Schrader valve. As you would expect from Crank Brothers, the Click floor pump looks, feels, and works really good, which it had better for $225. It has a surprising amount of solid metal parts on it, including the base, which helps keep this monster from toppling over. For when your bike is up on a work stand, they even include an extension hose. To top it all off, they even went through the trouble of putting a battery level indicator on the digital gauge. The only thing I dislike about the Click floor pump besides the price is the screw-on connector. Although it is the best screw-on connector I've used, it's still a screw-on connector. At $225, it's impossible to justify the value of this pump, so I don't recommend it to the average mountain biker. On the other hand, if you geek out over really well-made things and don't mind spending some extra money, this will not disappoint. As for this RockShox Boxer pump, it's pretty disappointing. I was hoping to keep this in my travel bag since it works with both shocks and tires. While it does make a pretty good shock pump, it's nearly useless on tires. After installing the included converter onto your Presta valve, you need to turn this lock to convert the pump into high volume mode. With enough strength, persistence, and luck, you will eventually get it to cooperate. Maybe mine is defective, or maybe I'm an idiot. After you get it to turn, the pump then telescopes out further to achieve high volume. It is then excruciatingly difficult to inflate a tire with, even compared to other hand pumps. There's also no way to secure the hose, which even this free pump that came with my bike can do. Overall, it's just disappointing, so I'll continue to carry 2 separate pumps for travel. I film mountain bike stuff for a living, so I'm always on the lookout for a really compact video camera. The DJI Osmo Pocket fits somewhere between a point-and-shoot camera and a GoPro. It has a built-in gimbal for stabilization, a ridiculously tiny touchscreen, and loads of shooting modes. It's also $350, which is less than a Hero 7 and a third the cost of the best point-and-shoot cameras. Included is a little connector to hook it directly to your smartphone, which is a lot more reliable than competitors' Wi-Fi solutions. It also shoots up to 4K 60, and unlike the Hero 7, has full stabilization at every setting. The video quality is impressive, much better than a cell phone. It's not quite up to par with my Sony point-and-shoot, but it boots up quicker and easily slides in and out of my pocket, making it really effective at getting shots quickly. For that reason, the Osmo now stays on my hip at all times. It also has great battery life and some really cool features like panning time lapses, and ongoing updates from DJI, which seem to improve it every month. While the Osmo does make a really good pocket camera, I will tell you right now that it can't replace a GoPro. Many have wondered what it would look like chest mounted, and the answer is hot garbage. The field of view is way too narrow for first-person video, and the gimbal tends to wander as soon as you lean forward. There's also a learning curve. If you hand the Osmo to a friend to get a shot, they will struggle to keep you in frame, as the gimbal behaves unpredictably if you just point it at stuff haphazardly. Once you get the hang of it though, you can get some really cinematic shots. With all this capability and a reasonably priced camera the size of a Cliff Bar, it's hard not to recommend the Osmo Pocket. This is the Zero Gravity Rack, a bike storage solution which might be useful for some people. I have the space to hold my bikes this way, but some people need the overhead space, making this rack one of the only solutions of its kind. You install it on your wall using the included hardware, put your bike on it, and then lift it into the horizontal position, which is made easy by the gas cylinder. It does do what it says. But I have a few criticisms about this product, starting with the packaging. I had to scavenge my parts bin to replace these two bolts which were not long enough to make it through the tubing. Also, the strap which holds the rack in the down position was adjusted wrong out of the box, which required additional disassembly on my part to correct. This rack is also incredibly ugly. That may be fine for a garage or dungeon as shown here, but probably not for an apartment, especially if you're trying to get your significant other on board with storing bikes inside. I'm also concerned with the orientation given that suspension oil will settle on one side of the seals, although one could argue that this effect is no worse on a rack like mine. All these shortcomings could be forgiven, but not for $180. On one good note, it does work exactly as advertised. This really can easily lift a heavy bike way up near the ceiling, so if that's what you need, this product might be the only game in town. Finally, the Potty Glove, which is an emergency bathroom kit for when you don't have a bathroom. In the included plastic bag comes these two nitrile gloves. The left one has built into it a dispenser with 5 wet wipes. After you're finished, you can grab all the wipes, take the gloves off over them, and pack everything out in the included bag. Since they do make the eco-friendly claim, I need to point out that nitrile gloves and plastic bags are not eco-friendly, even if you are using them to pack out your trash. If you are doing a lot of camping, a roll of toilet paper is a lot more economical and eco-friendly, but that's not what the Potty Glove is for. The Potty Glove is to be kept stashed in your pack for years, until that one day where it saves your life. I stashed a similar product in my bag a while back, and recently I was really glad to have it. That product is called the kit, and it's actually cheaper and smaller than the Potty Glove. Still, should your coffee kick in at the exact wrong time, you'll be equally happy to have either product on hand. I hope you enjoyed these product reviews because at the end of the day, they're for entertainment. If you do want any of these items, except for the shoe dryers, I've included links to everything below. So until I accumulate another 10 interesting products, thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time.